In a recent patch, Blizzard tried to fix the assassin class by adjusting the broken attack speeds at which she could kick. But the real reason the character is broken has little to do with that. In this video, I'm going to show you how the Kicksin is still busted, and show you the build that we put together that could potentially set a new Tristram speedrunning world record. Let's dive in. The current world record for defeating all 6 endgame bosses in Diablo 2 sits at 1 minute and 13 seconds. But this was in Lord of Destruction. With the loading screens being a thing in D2R, I thought there was no way this record could ever be beaten in the new game. Now, it seems like it's only a matter of time. Many players had fun abusing the burst of speed and fanaticism bonuses on Kicksins while the exploit lasted. Some players even theorized the fastest Uber Tristram speedrunning builds to date. But I don't think anyone's quite got it right yet. Even though the increased attack speed frames have been patched, there's still builds clocking times faster than any of the ones theorized that I saw. And before I show you the build and tell you why it's still insanely fast, I want to take a quick moment to tell you about the sponsor of today's video. I'm a huge fan of turn-based attack games, and Raid Shadow Legends probably has some of the best graphics and gameplay of any that I've seen, especially on mobile. The thing that I like is that you can play this on iOS, Android, and PC for free. This month, Raid's bringing the latest addition to its huge boss roster, and it's probably the nastiest one yet. The Hydra. This thing is a super-powered clan boss that's like several bosses rolled into one. It can share the pain and push damage from itself onto your team, it can scare your champions, rot them from the inside, and a ton of other crazy things. I'm not sure what the world record is for losing to this thing, but I'm pretty sure I have it. Raid's also giving away a super limited edition champion to every player in the game. You might recognize this man now immortalized in a video game. It's esports legends and Navi superstar Simple. Look at him, still sniping in this game. Between now and January 28th, 2022, Simple's limited edition champ is available for free. All you have to do is log in for 7 days between now and then, and he's yours. If you miss that date, you miss out forever. New players, if you want to get a huge head start in the game, all you got to do is click the link down in the description or scan my QR code. You'll get an epic hero, Tayrel, along with 200k silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get in game. And if that Hydra boss isn't broken enough for you, well, let me tell you more about this assassin. Again, many people assumed that it was the IAS frames that was responsible for essentially breaking this build, making it unfair in PvP, and completely busted in PvM, especially with Ubers. But attack speed was never the reason why the Kicksin was broken. Instead, it was the fact that kicks are now ignoring any form of evasiveness from their target. For example, in PvP, kicks can't be blocked, dodged, or most importantly for Uber bosses, they have no regard for their target's defense. This, in combination with Crushing Blow, is why we saw Uber boss life totals get obliterated in fractions of a second. It also makes proccing skills on hit a lot easier. And that's sort of the premise behind this build. This Sin has 105% faster cast, 95% chance of Crushing Blow, and hits the fastest increased attack speed breakpoint even through Holy Freeze. Here's how we pull this off. We use Spirit for +2 to skills and to help us achieve the faster cast rate breakpoint of 102%. We use Arachnid Mesh for the same reason to help us hit that cast breakpoint. And we use Trangul's Claws for both the cast and the poison skill damage, which applies to Venom. Additionally, we need a faster cast rate ring to just push us over that 102. Our other ring is a Raven Frost for Cannot Be Frozen. Our first piece of Crushing Blow comes in the form of Gore Riders. They're upped because Myrmidon Greaves do considerably more kick damage than the war boots that they naturally spawn on. The reason we choose these boots instead of boots such as Goblin Toes is because these are also our only % chance of open wounds. Open wounds is an extremely important ability when you're doing Uber Tristram with a physical damage character, and again, these boots are the only source of it on this build. We use Enigma to teleport around the map, a 220 2-open socket assassin helm. In this helm, we put 2 40-15 jewels. The enhanced damage does apply to kicks, and the 30% increased attack speed is enough to just push us beyond the breakpoint, even through Holy Freeze. And our first piece of spice comes in the form of our amulet. This is Atma's Scarab, and we basically only use this amulet to try to proc amplify damage when we strike our target. But the next and probably biggest piece of spice that we have on the build is the Jeweler's Phase Blade of Amplify Damage. This is a magic phase blade that has 4 open sockets and a 5% chance to cast Amplify Damage. This combines with our chance to cast it from Atma's Scarab, so we collectively have about a 10% chance to cast Amplify Damage every time we kick our enemy. In this phase blade, we've put 4 bear runes. That's for the 80% chance of crushing blow that absolutely annihilates bosses within milliseconds. On the swap, we have CTA and Spirit, as most builds do. In the inventory, we have a Hellfire Torch and a Nihilus, and the rest of our charms are 20 life, 5 all resistance charms. These allow us to not only maintain a high life total, but also to maintain just about full resistances, even through Mephisto's Conviction aura. We notice that you don't actually need that much resistances because you can take out Mephisto before he's really even a problem in the first place. We don't use a mercenary on this build. In fact, we just basically rely on our Shadow Master. She's enough of a distraction and can cast Mind Blast quite a bit, which can play a bit of crowd control in the runs. The stat points are pretty typical for most builds. We put just enough into strength and dexterity to wear our gear, and the rest go into vitality. With this build in particular, we do need a pretty substantial amount of dexterity to wear our phase blade. This made me consider going to a different shield for max block, but I really don't think we need it. The skills are pretty odd and probably not something you'll see on most assassins. We put 20 points into Dragon Talon, as this is our main attack and what we'll be smacking Ubers with. We put nothing into the Trap Tree, and in the Shadow Disciplines tab, we max a couple of random skills. First, we max Venom. This actually does work with kicks, so it's not actually a bad skill to max out and buff yourself with. From there, we put 20 points into our friend and fellow comrade, the Shadow Master. This just ensures her survivability for the longest amount of time. We couple this with putting 20 points into Mind Blast, as it encourages the Shadow Master to use that skill more. We can use this in dire situations. However, the Shadow Master will often use this and convert minions, which will play a little bit of crowd control. And then the rest of our points go right into Burst of Speed. Technically, you only need 26 to hit the max frame breakpoint through Holy Freeze, but hey, why not just jam another one in there anyway? After only doing a handful of runs, I was able to secure a time that was only seconds off from the LOD world record, which gave me a lot of hope about the build. Here's the run in its entirety.